Welcome to Fix Your Confidence Conference 2023. Are you excited? I'm excited as well. Stay active, share the video, invite your friends, be expectant, grab your book and pen with a cup of water. Have you done that? Are you ready? Remember, the most active participants will get a 70% scholarship for our executive confidence course in School of Confidence worth 30K. And every participant also gets access to our FCC special offers, which are already on discounted prices for our courses in School of Confidence. Wow, this is a rare and a huge opportunity you shouldn't take for granted. Make sure to subscribe on our YouTube channel at School of Confidence 20. Will you be that person to win the scholarship? Well, we will know at the end of this conference. So make sure to participate and enjoy yourself. Welcome to Fix Your Confidence Conference 2023. Are you excited? I'm excited as well. Stay active, share the video, invite your friends, be expectant, grab your book and pen with a cup of water. Have you done that? Are you ready? Remember, the most active participants will get a 70% scholarship for our executive confidence course in School of Confidence worth 30K. And every participant also gets access to our FCC special offers, which are already on discounted prices for our courses in School of Confidence. Wow, this is a rare and a huge opportunity you shouldn't take for granted. Make sure to subscribe on our YouTube channel at School of Confidence 20. Will you be that person to win the scholarship? Well, we will know at the end of this conference. So make sure to participate and enjoy yourself. Welcome to Fix Your Confidence Conference 2023. Are you excited? I'm excited as well. Stay active, share the video, invite your friends, be expectant.
This is Fix Your Confidence Conference. Convener Mesama Ilechukwu, the Director School of Confidence, popularly known as the Confidence Doctor. Welcome. Let's meet the compelled Fortune Ataisi. Fortune Ataisi is the voiceover artist, event moderator, and a communication expert. She helps brands increase their visibility through her attention-grabbing voiceovers and commits to helping new voiceover artists get on their feet through her coaching program. Since 2020, Fortune has successfully moderated various offline and online events for both startups and established brands. She plays communication roles for several brands online and creates content around productive communication. When she's not behind a mic, she's studying brands, developing or writing, feasting on books, and listening to podcasts. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Fortune Ataisi.
Hello, Fix Your Confidence. Hi, good evening. Welcome to the conference. Yay, it's here finally. Can I be heard? If I can be heard, please let me know. So I know if I'm going to adjust my mic or adjust anything. All right, great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Big shout out to the Confidence Doctor. Can you imagine that? I didn't memorize her full name. I know her as the Confidence Doctor. Anywhere I see her, it's the Confidence Doctor. I'm not going to call her Mesoma. No, I'm going to call her the Confidence Doctor. And she's the one that has put this together. And I'm super excited to be anchoring this. It's by the grace of God that I'm here. You don't want to hear what happened before now or before today, but glory be to God, I'm here now. So let's just get right into it. All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. I see the comments. Thanks so much for being here. I always tell my audience that come for events like this, you are super wise. And you things like this, I congratulate you for them to come. Okay, I think I'm back. Ask them to come. Ask them to come here. We've started already and we're faithful to the time. So we're not going to spend an extra minute here. All right. So quickly, we have a lineup of speakers, and all of these speakers are going to be touching on different points that will fix your confidence. When I put this flyer up on my status a few days ago, I said, check the speakers and you will see something. For every speaker, there is a particular problem that he or she is handling. So you know that it's very specific, all right? It's to solve a specific problem, and that is to fix your confidence. And one thing I figured about this conference is confidence is not just about the way you dress or the way you speak or how you carry yourself, your charisma. It's a lot of things. It's a whole lot of things, from your healing from trauma to finding your purpose, to the way you dress and everything in between. All of it translates to building your confidence. And that's why this conference was birthed for you, to show you that building your confidence is not just one path alone. There are different parameters to building your confidence. So right now we're going to welcome Dr. Sam Ekundayo, and he will be talking on unveiling inner confidence through self-discovery. Dr. Sam will be talking about unveiling inner confidence through self-discovery. Let's have his profile.
This is Fix Your Confidence Conference. Convener, Mesama Ilechukwu, Director School of Confidence, popularly known as the Confidence Doctor. Welcome to day one. First session with Dr. Samuel Ekundayo. Topic: Unveiling Inner Confidence Through Self-Discovery. Let's meet Dr. Samuel Ekundayo. Dr. Samuel Ekundayo, based in Auckland, New Zealand, is a distinguished senior lecturer, transformational speaker, author, life coach, and consultant. He is often acclaimed as the purpose preacher for his profound dedication to guiding individuals in discovering their purpose and maximizing their potential, leading them towards a fulfilled and influential life. Having an impressive repertoire of expertise, Dr. Ekundayo recently completed an esteemed course at Harvard Business School on Power and Influence for Positive Impact. His profound insights and contributions were recognized and featured on the Harvard Business School blog, further solidifying his influential role in the realm of personal development and leadership. He also holds a PhD in Business Information Systems from the prestigious Auckland University of Technology, AUT, in New Zealand, where he did his thesis on the role of educational technology in delivering quality education in developing countries. Throughout his professional journey, Dr. Ekundayo has emerged as an internationally recognized consultant. He has consulted for major corporate organizations, delivered empowering messages at churches, and headlined numerous conferences and events worldwide. Notably, in 2019, he delivered a riveting TEDx talk titled Purpose, the Ultimate Cure to Suicide, which has been instrumental in transforming lives. He is the visionary behind the School of Purpose and Influence, SPIN, an esteemed institution dedicated to nurturing individuals for transgenerational influence and global impact. Furthermore, he is the force behind the Transgenerational Influence Conference, an annual event that attracts thousands, facilitating transformative experiences and guiding them from life's mysteries to mastering their purpose. As a prolific author, Dr. Eko Dayo has penned 10 influential books with 3 bestsellers to his name. 1. Purpose in Crisis: Uncommon Secrets to Finding and Fulfilling Purpose in Times of Adversity. 2. Your Problem is that you're multi-talented, proving and effective strategies to maximizing your gifts and potentials as a multi-potentialite. 3. Getting mentorship right, proven and practical skills to effective mentoring relationships. Beyond his professional achievements, Dr. Eko Dayo finds joy in his personal life. He cherishes moments with his wife, Blessing Eko Dayo, who he fondly refers to as his treasure, and their 2 sons. For a deeper dive into his journey, teachings, and upcoming events, visit samuelekodayo.com. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. Samuel Eko Dayo.
Hi everyone, I do hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, please put in the comments loud and clear. Thank you very much for that introduction. I want to thank Mesoma, the convener of Fix Your Confidence Conference, and the entire team put together that have actually worked on making this conference a reality. I am particularly privileged and blessed to be here. And I know very strongly that someone will be hearing whatever I will be sharing today, and that will help fix your confidence. What I'll be sharing today is very simple, very simple. I'm going to be giving you 2 core tips that would help fix your confidence. And I know that this will be something you're going to remember for a very long time. So let me ask you the very first question I'll be asking you today. Are you ready? If you're ready, say, I'm ready. Yeah, put it in the chats. Let me hear you say, I'm ready. You see, right now, by the grace of God, I am 38 years old. And that means I've had the opportunity to live on this earth for almost 4 decades. But when I was growing up, in my early days, things were not so great. I mean, my parents were struggling. We were struggling financially. Things were not always very great. Some of you may understand what I'm talking about because you could be going through that same thing right now, or you've gone through that before. I'm talking about days where we may not even find anything to eat that particular day, and we will literally just clap our hands and pray. We've had days like that. We've had days where we struggle to pay school fees. We've had days where we struggle to put food on the table. We've had days, so many of such. And those things sort of culminated sometimes into your confidence being battered. And I remember it wasn't very pretty in my primary school days when I would be referred to as the shortest man in the world, right from the days of my primary school, because I had a very small stature. Luckily, that soon changed. But that was the way I was referred to, the smallest boy in the world, smallest man in the world, or something like that. That was the name they would call me, and it was, they would bully me and all of that, and that didn't really help my confidence a lot, even though I had a bit of ability, when it comes to my brain, and I was intelligent, but all of those things, would affect me, growing up, affect the way I saw myself, affect the way I looked at myself. But all of that soon changed when, at the age of 14, I was in high school, when I conceived inside of me something that just, was amazing. And he started from realizing a few things about myself that I'm going to share with you today. Because I realized that many of us, the reason why we struggle to have confidence or develop confidence is simply because we are more attuned to what people say about us than we are attuned about who we really are or what God says about us. So there's this story of a man who in the Bible who was running away from his enemies. Some of you, if you're a Christian, you probably know him very well. We're going to take him as a case study and maybe a few others as well. And that story very much aligns with mine, because many people will call me a shortest man in the world and all of those things like that. I would almost be hiding my face from everyone. Gideon was that kind of man as well. They had all these enemies called the Moabites at the time who were always looking at getting whatever it is that was theirs. They called them all kinds of names. They were oppressing them. Can I shock you that the greatest answer to oppression in life is knowledge? Let me say that again. The greatest answer, the answer to oppression in life is knowledge. If you are oppressed, either by financially, you're oppressed emotionally, you're oppressed career-wise, and you're struggling with confidence, knowledge is the answer. Ignorance is your enemy. As long as you don't know what you need to know, you will remain oppressed. Let me say that again. As long as you don't know the things you need to know, you will remain oppressed. You will always struggle with confidence when you are ignorant. And that was my case for many years. But something changed when I turned 14. When I turned 14, like you are listening to this message right now, you're listening to what I'm sharing right now. I heard someone talk about you have a dream, dare to dream. What is your dream? What do you want to become? And all of those things like that. And I remember, and the person gave us a template on how to have our dream, so to speak, how to dream big. And the template was, look at the things you did so well. You look at the things you do this, and all of that. And I started to look at myself and looked at the things I did well. And every time I close my eyes, I realized that I always see myself in front of a large audience, speaking to a large crowd, talking to a large crowd. And I'm always wondering, in fact, the first thing that came to my mind was, you're going to be a teacher. In my own myopic frame of thought at the time, I had conceived that to be, okay, I'm going to be a professor. So I would start calling myself Professor Smart. I know they were calling me, shortest man in the world, but I started calling myself Professor Smart. By this time, I was already in high school, and I would call myself Professor. So all of a sudden, the name Professor was thumping the name shortest man in the world. Because I bore a dream. All of a sudden I realized something. Every change begins with a realization. To fix your confidence today, I'm praying that this what you're listening to right now, this session will birth inside of you a realization and an awakening that makes you realize, wow, you're made for more than whatever it is you are going through right now. And that was my case. The moment I bore that dream, everything changed. So I want to give you two massive formulas to fix your confidence through self-discovery. That's the topic I've been given, how to unveil, inner confidence through self-discovery. And I want to share two core things with you. I've noticed this about every single person that have fixed their confidence, every single person that have been able to discover their inner confidence, because confidence is within. The only thing that is robbing you is ignorance. Ignorance is what is keeping it buried. So many people's confidence have been buried, all right? Buried by the oppression of people, buried by the labels that many men give you, buried by the situation and circumstance of the country, by the economy, buried by relationships, negative relationships. There's so many things that have buried people's confidence. Every man was born and created confident. That's one thing I need you to know. Everybody, whatever your temperament is, you were created confident. I don't care whether you're an introvert. That's just your temperament. It's not who you are. And it is essential that you realize this. All right. Your temperament is not who you are. Okay. It is just a trait. But you've been created confident. The only thing is you are yet to discover what you're meant to discover. And I want to give you 2 core keys right now. But before I give you those 2 core keys, I want to share with you 4 phases of life that every man embarks upon. And I want you to not forget this, because the number 2 phase is what most of us should be on, most young people, all right, should be on. But many people are still stuck in their number 1 phase. Hence, they're not able to discover the things that they need to discover so that they can be who they are actually created to be and fix their confidence. Number 1 phase of life is the phase of infantry. Right. In this phase of infantry, that's like the phase of, phase that most babies are in. All right. This is the phase of dependence, where you cannot make decisions by yourself. This phase, under normal circumstances, it should be between your age 0 and about age 14, 15. It should not be more than that age 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All right, that stage of dependence, where you haven't, you can't. It's like you can't stand alone. Right, everything you do, someone has to help you do it. Someone has to help you fix your bed. Someone has to help you fix your career. Someone has to help you fix something. Someone pays for your school fees. Someone determines the course you're going to study in school. Someone tells you what you're. I'm talking about phase as in PHASE, right? Like a season, a season in life. All right, that's the phase of infancy, phase of dependence. A phase where you copy everyone because you have not yet discovered your own identity. So you copy everyone to survive, to live. That's that phase. All right, please don't let it go beyond age 18. It's still okay if you are still in that phase till you're about 18. See, but the moment you turn 18, some people get into the second phase that I'm about to share early, which is a good thing. You must move into what I call your discovery phase. This phase of discovery is extremely crucial to the rest of your life. And the earlier you get into this phase of discovery, the better it is for you. And in the phase of discovery is when you start to discover some important things about you. You start to discover who you really are. Your identity. Number 2, you start to discover your purpose. This phase usually should be between, say, about 18 years old. They're about to something like about 30, 35-year-old, thereabout. All right, where you discover yourself. You discover what you carry. You discover your gifts. You discover your potential. You discover you find the things that make you tick. All right. Most importantly, your identity, your true identity, your authenticity. See, it is impossible to be authentic if you don't know who you really are. Authenticity does not come by men's label. It comes by identity, your core identity, your God-given identity. It's not what people say you are, all right, that makes you authentic. It comes by who you really are, discovering who you really are. So in your phase of discovery, you must come to terms with who you really are, not who people think you are. Parents, if you are listening to me, if there's a parent and you are listening to this, you need to help your kids discover who they really are. In fact, impress upon their hearts the importance of the stage of discovery as early as possible. And in fact, play your role as early as possible before they even turn that 18 to help them realize their authentic self. This is so important. So that's the stage of discovery. In fact, in this stage of discovery, there are 3 core things that normally occur to man. All right, to a man that is really, really in that phase. And that often wraps up that last phase. Number 1, you discover that you cannot do everything. So that age, it normally gets to that age, around that age 30, 35. That's when you start to realize that, I'm no longer young. I can't do all that I wish to do and want to do. I can only do the things that I'm meant and called to do. How many of you you've gotten to that phase? Let me see your hand. If you have gotten to that, I'm 38 now. I realized that since age 30. When you are young, when you are like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, you want to do everything. In fact, you're up to 22, 23, 24, 25. They'll call you to come and do accounting. You do accounting. You do IT. You do IT. You do this one. You do that one. You do that one. You do that one. You want to do everything. You want to be everywhere. You want to be everybody. They say, who do you want to become? You want to be this. You want to be Mesoma. You want to be Dr. Sam. You want to be everything. You want to do everything. But the culmination of the phase of discovery is realizing you cannot do and you cannot be everything. Yes, some people are saying they are not there yet. I pray you get there in the name of Jesus, because it sets you free. It sets you free. It sets you free. Sets you free from trying to please everyone, from trying to do everything. You discover what you really are meant to be doing, and you focus. Number 2, you realize, listen, that you don't have time to do everything. So number 1, you cannot do everything. You realize you cannot do everything. Number 2, you realize that you don't have time to do everything. All of a sudden, there is an awareness, and I'm not necessarily trying to be morbid here. There's an awareness that you don't actually have all the time in the world. You don't have forever to do what you're born to do. You have just about the right time to do what you're called to do. Yes, some people are confirming. Somebody said I'm age 18. I want to do everything. Absolutely. 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 Okay. And then you get to that phase as well. All right. Where you realize, lastly, that you cannot work with everybody. How many of us are realizing that yet? Usually it gets to about that age 30 something. That's when you start to realize that you can't work with everybody. 3 major realizations, discovery, that culminates that phase of discovery. Okay. So if you're in this room right now, you're young, maybe you're in your phase of discovery, you need to be discovering who you are, what you can do, what your gifts are, what's your vision, where you're going. Right? Very important. And your core identity, who you are, what you can do, where you are going, that's your vision, and your purpose, why you are. You need to discover these things. And the culmination of that, of your discovery, is realizing you cannot do everything. You don't have time to do everything. That first one speaks to limited energy. We have finite amount of energy. If you try to do everything you can do, if you try to do everything you can do, you burn out. But sometimes when we are young, because we had a lot of energy, we don't always quickly realize that, and that's okay. But please, you can't keep doing that at age 35, at age 40. Okay. Number 2, you don't have time to do everything. All of a sudden, there is an awareness that you don't have time. You're not here forever. I read a book this year that is still literally changing my life. And I want to suggest that most of you find time to read it. The book is titled 5 Top Regrets of the Dying. 5 Top Regrets of the Dying. It is written by a lady called Bronnie Ware. See, Bronnie Ware was, all those nurses that normally stay with people. Well, I don't know what they call them now. I've forgotten what they call them. All those nurses that normally care for people who are about to die. And she cared for quite a lot of people who are about to die. And she would always interview them and ask them questions like, is there anything you regret in life, and all of those things like that. And she came up with 5 top. She summarized all their stuff in 5 top regrets that many of them have. Oh my goodness, the regrets are just so. It will all of a sudden help you realize that life is indeed short. One of them is that some people do not have the courage to pursue their dreams. Some people do not have the courage to pursue their dreams. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then they got stuck in one career somewhere, got stuck in one employment somewhere, and they never got to live their dreams, or got stuck in one relationship, right? That just keeps, holding them back. And by the time they think they are ready to do that thing that they've been putting off for a long time, where they feel like, oh, the kids have left home, now I'm retired or whatever. Now let me go and do what I think I have time to do. Guess what happens? All of a sudden, there is sickness, there's cancer, boom, and they're not able to do it again. That's a powerful realization. Anyway, number 3 phase is the phase of devotion. The phase of devotion. So first phase of dependence or infantry. Second phase is phase of discovery. Third phase is the phase of devotion. See, this third phase should begin usually at the age of 30. Usually at the age of 30, where you have found what you are called to do. You have found who you really are, and you stick to it. You remember, you've realized you cannot do everything, so you now know what to do, at the expense of trying to do everything, right? You now know what to focus and devote your life to. You now are living in that phase of commitment to your calling, right? Full commitment to your calling, all right? All the other distractions no longer matter. Distractions of the wrong career, distractions of the wrong friendships, distractions of hedonism and all this pleasure that that comes with that first second phase where you're still trying to discover yourself. You know what I mean, right? All those pleasure of playing video games all the time, that you could play video games from morning till evening. That young people do all this pleasure of masturbation almost every single day, all this pleasure of pornography. All of a sudden, you realize you cannot continue that way, and you need to commit to life so you can actually live a meaningful life. How many of us are there yet? And you don't have to get to age 30 to get there. This that I'm sharing with you can produce a realization in you at the age of 25, at the age of 20. And you realize, oh my goodness, the earlier I make these realizations, the better for my life. I know your parents may have been telling you and it doesn't make sense. Hopefully the way I'm sharing it with you is making sense, because this is literally the summary of our lives. And this can help fix your confidence. I will tell you soon how it does help fix your confidence. These realizations that you're getting right now. So there's that phase of devotion where you commit to what you are created to do. You commit to what matters the most. You commit to the things that matter. You commit to life's priorities. You commit to your core values. In the stage of discovery, you must also discover your core values. What are your non-negotiables? Those are the things that input confidence. Some people call it arrogance. No, the fact that you have core value doesn't mean you are core values doesn't mean you are arrogant. It means you know what you stand for. Absolutely. You know what you stand for and you stick by it. If anyone wants to come into your life and they don't stand for what you stand for, it is okay to wave them goodbye even before they start on the journey. It's like a bus trying to go somewhere you are not going, and you realize the moment you wanted to enter the bus because you're excited, but all of a sudden you look at the bus number or the bus name. I don't know in Nigeria if that exists now already. But where I am, you'll be seeing it. On the bus saying the bus is going here, is going there. All of a sudden you realize the bus is not going where you're going. You stay where you are. You stay where you are until the bus is until you find the bus that is going to where you're going. That's what your core value does. All right. So after the phase of devotion, we now have the last phase, which is the phase of demise. DEMISE. That's the phase of legacy, where you will realize that all your efforts to stay devoted and committed to a cause in life is now about making sure you sustain a legacy. Do you get there? You now start living for what you'll be remembered for. You are now becoming intentional about what you want to be remembered for. At that age, usually this is the age of like 60, 70. It is not about whether you are driving a Ferrari that matters anymore, or whether you have a job that pays $120,000, or those things no longer matter. What now matters is what you are leaving behind for the next generation. Hey, Yakara. Somebody getting what I'm saying? I nearly spoke in tongues. I hope you are getting it. Okay, let me quickly summarize these 4 phases, and I will tell you the importance of the second phase, because that's the second phase I want to nail on in terms of unveiling your inner confidence. Okay, number 1, the phase of dependence. Okay, where everything is about, what other people are doing. You are copying what people are doing. You don't even really know who you are. You are just, people tell you who you are, so sometimes you accept it. And I said it's usually from the age of 0 to about 18, thereabout, and you're just still trying to figure out life. Hopefully, all of that, you're not left battered and too broken. You escape from that phase to that phase where one day, that phase began for me at the age of 14. I actually literally sat myself down after listening to a message like this. I sat myself down and I literally said to myself, I'm not kidding. These are the things I said to myself. It was age 14. I said, this one that my parents are always beating me, that I'm always stubborn, that I'm always doing what they ask me not to do. It's our time it stopped. I just said it to myself. I still remember vividly. I sat on my bed in my room and I said, it's high time this stopped. I want to focus on my future. I want to focus on my dreams. So I started to, work on how to dream big. And I remember I was listening to something like this. I remember getting that, oh my goodness, I want to be a professor. Okay. And I started to find out the things that I need to do to become a professor. All right. That was age 14 was what got me into my age of discovery. And I started to discover myself. I started to, remove all the labels. Shortest man in the world, this one, that. I started to remove all the labels that people gave me. All right. Because I started to discover myself. All right. I know I was no longer oppressed by what people said about me anymore. Remember, I had made a decision to move my life forward. All right. So I entered into my phase of discovery straight away, But to be very sincere, I didn't discover my purpose until I was about 30. All right. It was 2016. So 31, actually. That was when I discovered my purpose. But before then, I discovered my gifts. All right. I'd gotten a vision of where my future was taking me, even though I thought it was being a professor. But I later realized, now I do know, that it's not about being a professor. It's about building leaders. It's about helping people find their life's purpose and living for that life's purpose. And that was what my stage of discovery taught me. I also discovered those 3 things I shared with you, that I cannot do everything. Oh my goodness. I'm still multi-talented. That's why I wrote my book. Your problem is you're multi-talented. If you missed that introduction that they did of me, that's one of my bestsellers. To the Glory of God is actually a bestseller, because it's a problem many people are going through. They're multi-talented. They can do this, they can do that. I can play keyboard, I can sing, I can write. I write songs, I do research, I teach. I can do all forms of. I do graphic design, I do video editing, I do all forms of things. But when I was in my 20s, oh my God, I was being put left, right, and center. I was jack of all trades, master of none. Nobody knew me for anything in particular. I was valueless because everybody could use me for whatever they want to use me for because of my multi-talents. And some of you are in your 20s, you are listening to this, and that's the reason why you're being put left, right, and center. And it looks like you lack confidence because you're yet to discover what you're meant to be doing with your life, which is what I shared in the book. It's not about all the things you can do. It's about that very thing that you're called to do. So that was what my age of discovery helped me to discover, that I don't have also time to do everything. Because the older you get, the more you realize that every birthday you celebrate is not just the birthday of another year on earth. It's another year closer to your grave. You didn't get that. When you are young and you are 13, 14, in fact, when they're doing your birthday, you be excited. You be excited. You be like, I cannot wait to become 18 to start to vote. You can't wait. All of a sudden, when you start to turn 30, 31, your birthdays become an introspection. An introspection of where are we going with this thing called life? Where are we going with this thing called life? And lastly, I realized that I can't be with everyone. I can't be with everyone. Because I discovered my core values. And the number 3, that stage of devotion. That's where I am right now, where I'm so focused, devoted to this thing I'm doing right now. Helping other people find their purpose, live to maximize their potential, become who they are created to be. This is my stage of devotion. My one thing. How many of you have read that book? One Thing, The One Thing. So powerful. I recommend it. See, I keep recommending books. I'm a lecturer. I'm allowed to. Okay, and that last phase, which I've not gotten there yet, is that age of demise, where it's about sustaining a legacy. All right. You should have created your legacy, or you should be creating your legacy in that age of devotion. But when you get to that age of demise, you are trying to sustain that legacy, trying to sustain what you're known for. All right. Now, in your age of discovery, I want to give you 2 core things that are extremely valuable to help you unveil your inner confidence. Number 1, the discovery of who you really are. The discovery of who you really are. That's number 1. You must invest. I don't like to say go and discover who you are. No. I like to use the word invest. You can never get self-discovery until you invest in self-discovery. Self-discovery doesn't come by chance. All the phases I shared with you right now, they don't happen by chance. They happen intentionally. You need to come to a place in your life where you put yourself in that phase. You don't enter into the phase of discovery by chance. Everybody would remain at the stage of infancy and dependence until they determine by themselves that they want to move to the stage of discovery. Trust me, that's why you find 30-year-old people and they are still at the age of dependence. 30-year-old people, they are still being told what to do. They are still living by the labels of man. They are still living by what their teacher said to them in primary school. They are still living by the labels that they were given. They are still living by their IQ, what came out in their IQ test. They are still living by all these things, that the result that they got in primary school and in high school and the names that people are calling them. They are still living by the disappointments of their parents and the offense of their community. They are still living by all of those things, and they are 40. So it's possible to be at that phase of dependence at age 40. It is you that would have to be intentional to put yourself in the stage of discovery and say, enough is enough of this cycle of dependence, of this cycle of infantry, of this cycle of mimicry. It is high time I move into my phase of discovery and start to discover the most important things about myself. Is somebody following this? If you're following it and you're getting it, say yes. If it's helping you, say yes. Because I need you to get it. This is so important. It takes intentionality and consciousness to move from dependence to self-discovery, to discovery. You must be intentional about discovering yourself. You must invest in discovering yourself. Invest. What do you invest? You invest money. Some of you spend more time on fixing your face than fixing your life. You didn't get that. You spend the most money and time and effort and energy. If you will put the same amount of time you put on fixing your face, your facial features and your body features, and you invest that same amount of time. Like some people spend 1 hour a day doing makeup. Some people spend 1 hour a day braiding their hair and doing all this hair and whatever. And they will put money. They will use product to clean product to put product on product to wipe product. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm doing basketballs, but I need you to get what I'm trying to share. All the money you're supposed to invest in courses, invest in, like the School of Confidence is there. Invest, put money into those things that will fix your life, not just your face. I'm not saying you should not look good, but please invest more in your life becoming good than in looking good. It's the truth. Because at the end of the day, nobody would ask you whether you looked good. It is, if your life looks good, it will automatically culminate into looking good. Imagine you look good and at the end of the day, you're still dumb. You look so good, yet you don't know anything about yourself. You're still being oppressed. You're still being used, reduced, and abused. And you look good. It doesn't help. Yeah, there'll be time for questions. We'll get there. Okay. So you must discover who you really are. Take note, I'm not saying who you are, who you really are. That is who you really are. The story of Gideon that I was sharing the other time. So this guy was hiding all his life from the enemies. Right, hiding all his life from his enemies. In fact, he was so afraid because they were oppressed. But I realized that was his dependence phase, this phase of infancy, until all of a sudden, one day, an angel of God appeared to him and said, "Thou mighty man of valor." Another version says, "mighty hero." In other words, he realized something he had not realized about himself before. That was the beginning of his age of discovery. Oh, I'm a mighty hero? Me? Like, you know how they will call you a name and you look behind, you check, you look back whether they are talking to you. But as soon as he discovered who he really was, that he's a hero. He's a hero. He's a mighty man. He's a powerful man. Oh, okay. I'm powerful and God is with me. That's exactly how the scripture put it. Say, you're a mighty man of valor and God is with you. I'm powerful and God is with me. Those two things changed everything. From there, the guy started to wage war. He became an army commander. Before that, he was just a farmer hiding away from people. The next thing after that, he became a commander of armies. Can you imagine that? From farming to discovery changes everything for you. Discovery changes you from someone who is a coward hiding away to someone who comes to the forefront of the battle of life. Life is a battle. You don't know. We'll talk about that another time. All right. You come to the forefront because of discovery. It was the same discovery that this young boy called David, a teenager, he had moved to the stage of discovery early. There are some difficulties in life that fast tracks those phases that I just shared with you. Crisis and problems, when you don't have food to eat and everything like that, there's a way that they fast track, they fast track your those phases for you. Please give me 1 second. And they just fast track everything for you. So all of a sudden, this guy discovered that. And next thing he also discovered, he was also told what he was called to do, what he was created to do. Number 2 thing, who you really are and what you're called to do. I'm running out of time and I want to help you discover those 2 things. Number 1, how do you discover who you really are? How do you discover who you really are? To discover who you really are, number 1, please invest in some major self-discovery tests. Okay. All right. Let me recommend some of those tests right now. All right. Some of them are paid, some of them are free. All right. Young people, please write this down. If you have to save money to do this test, this is so important that you do. All right. Number 1, you need to go and do a DISC test. You need to do Gallup's strength test. You need to do MBTI, Myers-Briggs tests. You need to do the temperament tests. These things help to reaffirm who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, your gifts. All right. This is so important. All right. So invest. It will cost you time. It will cost you money. Number 2, if you are a person of faith in the room and you are listening to this, you need to take time to pray. And when you pray, please, I want you to ask your God this simple question: who am I? Show me who I am. Okay? Show me who I am. Show me who you have created me to be. I always ask my God that. I remember when I was much younger, that was one major prayer I prayed. And time fails me to tell you the encounter I got that made me discover who I am. And that separated me from the pack. Okay. Number 3, I need you, in your face of discovery and discovering who you are, I need you to take time to learn how to serve the people that inspire you. It is in service that you discover. Discovery comes through service. Remember, I told you how it's impossible to not be intentional about discovery and still discover. You must put yourself in the face of discovery. Discovery don't just happen. It doesn't happen magically. Okay, you need to put. That's why I use the word invest. So serving somebody that inspires you or people that inspire you is an investment of your time. Whereas some of your mates who are still in their infancy stage are playing video games from morning to night. I'm not saying anything is bad with video games, don't get me wrong. But being stuck in that, in hedonism, in the life of pleasure all day, is a dangerous thing, right? You must learn to invest your time. Invest your time. Invest your money in discovering yourself. So plug yourself into service, plug yourself into volunteering, all right? Especially the people that inspire you. Anyone that you see that is ahead of you doing something you dream of doing someday, something that you really feel like you could be doing the same thing, go and plug yourself and start serving those people. Follow them and serve them. Buy their books. It's an investment into discovering yourself. Because as you follow them, as you learn from them, they will tell you, do this, do that, read that book, do that, get into that course. And as you are doing those things that they are telling you to do, you start to discover some things about yourself that you never knew was there. They'll say, oh, go and represent me there. Go and speak. I tell some of my mentors, speak there for me. Talk there for me. And do that one for me. And as they're doing that, they are discovering things about themselves. I still got a testimony from one of them last night saying, oh, you asked me to do this. And it was when I started doing this, I realized I could do this. And boom, this clarity just came to me. But you know what's wrong with some young people? That they don't want to get into the face of discovery. They are scared to volunteer. They don't want to serve. They would rather be paid. Hello. Excuse me. In your face of discovery, don't rush into your face of devotion. Discover yourself so that you can devote yourself to what really matters. This is so important. All right. So number 2 thing is what you are called to do. Remember, I'm giving you 2 formulas to unveil your inner confidence now. I said, discover who you really are. And I've given you 3 tips now, right? I talked about taking tests. I've talked about prayer, all right? And if you're a person of faith, and I've lastly talked about putting yourself into service is the key to greatness. It's the key to greatness, all right? And number 2, what you are called to do. This one, I have 12 things I want to share with you, but I cannot share all the 12 things with you, but I'll rush it. I'll see if I can rush it with you. All right. 12 ways to find your calling. Because I've realized that when it's like you discover yourself, if you discover who you really are, you become 50% confident. But it is this calling and purpose, this other part, that makes you 100% confident. Trust me. Trust me. Because your vision in life culminates from the discovery of your calling, from the discovery of your purpose. If you don't know what you are created to do, you will not know where you are going. It's just that simple. Let me repeat that statement because I think I said it too fast. If you don't know what you are called and created to do, you will not know where you are going in life. It's not a curse. It is purpose that produces vision. It is purpose that produces vision. When you see people running like headless chicken in life, chasing computer, chasing accounting, chasing this, it's because they don't know precisely what they're called to do. All right. So in quick, let me rush this. All right. And of course, you can ask me more questions during the Q&A. All right. How do you find your calling? Number 1, check your personal pain. All right. Some of the pains that you've gone through, some of your experiences that have not been palatable, that you really went through, that really cost you a lot of pain, check it. There is a reason why you went through that pain. And sometimes that reason is to help other people not to go through that pain or to go through it, hopeful and not hopeless. So the reason why you life allowed you to go through that is so that you can be a messenger and a priest and a helper to those who will go through it in the future. So you can find your calling when you check your personal pain. Number two, check the things that make you angry. Some of us, you just cannot, there are some things you cannot stand. You cannot stand injustice. You cannot stand someone being cheated. You can't stand poverty. There are some things you cannot stand. And it creates this sort of discontentment inside of you. Check it. That could be your calling your name. I love to use that. Your calling could be calling out your name through that. Okay. Number three, check your personal successes, the things you do extraordinarily well. All right. The successes that you've recorded, by the way, sorry, the things you've recorded, successes you recorded in the past. Maybe you recorded success in software engineering, software development. You've recorded success in being a chef. You've recorded success in speaking to people. You've recorded some success in writing. Check it. There's a likelihood that there is a calling that is calling up your name in that area. Number four, check your gifting or your talents. All right. The things you do extraordinarily well. That you do extraordinarily well. Oftentimes, your calling is demonstrated in those abilities that are uncommon and unusual. Discover that. If you can discover your calling, oh my goodness, discover who you really are and discover your calling, you're sorted. And these things, like I told you earlier on, it's a journey. It's a phase of life. It doesn't happen by switching a light bulb on and off. No, it will take an investment of time. It will take a realization. It will take you sitting down on your bed, like I shared my story with you, and saying, enough is enough of my stage of dependence. I want to move into my stage of discovery, and I'm going to start investing in knowing who I am. Very important. All right. Next one, number 5. Check your childhood dreams. I don't know how old you are, but usually from the age of about 8, many of us have started dreaming about the future before life start polluting our dreams. And people start telling you it's impossible. Look at the economy. It's impossible. Look at Nigeria. You cannot do that. Look at this. Look at that. All right. So, before people start telling you that, what were those things you used to dream of? You used to dream of being a Superman, or Iron Man or whatever. All right. Check all of your childhood dreams. My main childhood dream was to be a professor. And it was in that I realized, it was more than just imparting knowledge to actually impacting lives. All right. So this is so important. Number 6, check what makes you weep. All right. Check the needs that you really desire to meet. The needs that deep down you want to meet, you want to solve. For you, it may be that you just want to solve the needs of people who are getting into the wrong relationships. You really want to. It's like for you, it's so simple not to get into wrong relationship, and for other people, it's so hard, and you want to solve it. All right, because it makes you weep. All right. Number 7, check your roots. When I say your roots, I mean there are some giftings and abilities that run through, all right, people's household. All right. Maybe your mom was a chef, like Idabasi. All right. Grandmother was a chef. Your mom is a chef. There's a likelihood you to have a calling to be a chef. So check. So there's some people in Western Nigeria. There's some people that we call them Ayon. They are in your family. These are people that their great-great-grandfather was a drummer, their great-grandfather was a drummer, their grandfather was a drummer, and all of a sudden too, their dad was a drummer, and they too just enjoy drumming. There's a likelihood there's a calling in that route. All right. Let me give you one more and then we finish. All right, because of time. And then another one is what I call direct revelation, direct illumination. All of a sudden you get a realization, that usually comes from your spirit. If you're a person of faith, boom, you just receive it, and we call it the call of God on your life, right? You just receive that call, boom, and you get to work on it. And I'm not necessarily talking about something that is necessarily spiritual. I'm talking about something that you make a realization, you get a perception, a long-lasting one. And often it is backed up by what I call progressive revelation as well, where it doesn't go away. It's progressive. So it's confirmed over time. It's confirmed over time. Because of time, we're going to stop there. I think I've given you about 10 thereabout. Okay. I think so. All right. And lastly, let me give you one more. What I call I want to give it a different name that would help you. What I call a role model impression or resemblance. A role model impression or resemblance. All of a sudden, you see someone that is like the model of your future. All right, the model of your future. That person is like they are doing right now what you feel or believe you should be doing with your life. Aha. That that resemblance or impression can literally be your calling, calling out to you. All right. When I was time is up. But let me quickly say this. When I was growing up, there's something that always jumped out of me when I looked at other people speaking. When I looked at the likes of Rayhard Bonke, TD Jakes, and all of those people, when I looked at them, I felt like I couldn't be speaking as well. Like I wanted to be them. In fact, I remember when I did my common entrance examination in Nigeria. Those ones before you get into high school, secondary school, and they asked me in my interview, what would you like to become? I literally said the name of somebody. I said I want to become Rayhard Bonke. The guy looked at me and didn't know what to write down because Rayhard Bonke was not a career; it was the name of a person, and he didn't know who the man was. So he left the stuff blank. And when my other friends were going to school and they were fixing them into schools, they couldn't fix me anywhere because my interviewer left it blank. All right. All right. Let's end it here. I hope I've helped you. Two core things that I want you to realize: if you're going to unveil your inner confidence, you must discover who you really are. And number two, you must discover your calling. And don't forget those four phases that I told you about. You cannot move from the stage of dependence to the stage of discovery if you don't intentionally move yourself there. It doesn't happen automatically. It is possible to be 50, 60, and 70 and still be at the age of dependence. You'll be shocked. You see some grandpa they are still at the age of dependence because they have not discovered anything about themselves. All right. I hope this has helped you, and it's a joy and a privilege to be here. I'll take some questions now. Where's the host? Ready to be here. Ready to take some questions. Sorry. All right. Oh, the questions are up. Okay. Okay. Good. I thought maybe like the host and I will be doing this. All right. The questions are up from Eze Roma says, "What if all these checkpoints what if all these checks points you to different things altogether? Life of a young multi-potential life." Is it my answer is simple, very simple. Read my book. Read my book. Your problem is you're multi-talented. I promise you. I'm promising you in advance that book will answer your question. Okay. I am personally promising you that book will answer that question. Okay. There's so much in the book that I cannot go into now because of our time. All right. I understand where you're coming from, and that's why if you read the first page of the book, first chapter of the book, I said is being on the multiple potential like a blessing or a curse. I literally said it like that because sometimes it could feel like a curse, right? So I understand what you mean, and that book will sort you out. It's part of the investment in your self-discovery. So go ahead and buy it. It's very cheap. It's just like 2,000 or 3,000 naira. All right, awesome. The book is titled "Your Problem Is That You're Multi-Talented." Your problem is you're multi-talented. That's the title of the book. Your problem is you're multi-talented. Can I share my screen? Maybe. Mesoma, if you can get the book, get the link to the book for them, it would help. Let me see if I can put a link up here. You can buy it at Roving Heights if you're in Nigeria. If you are not in Nigeria, you can buy it on Amazon. So let me post the link for you guys. Hopefully I'm able to post. Yeah, join the chat. Oh, I have to connect my YouTube. Okay, all right. Yeah, so if let me see if I can post it, and that should help somebody. So if you go to Robin Heights, you'll be able to get the book in Nigeria. If you are overseas and you're not in Nigeria, that's the link to the Amazon one, the Amazon link, and this is the link to Robin Heights that I'm about to post. Really great book, life changing book. The comment has failed to post. Oh, okay. I guess because I'm posting a link. Mesoma, over to you. Help to it seems like you've got links being posted, which I understand. So kindly help to post it yourself. Thank you. Let me post it. Actually, I'll post it in the private chat, and then you can help post it yourself. So that would answer that person's question and every other person in that same category. Okay, those are the two links. All right. Somebody said, "Sir, can you mention the discovery test again?" Okay, this discovery tests. Okay, number one, I talked about DISC. DISC, okay, dependence, interactive, steady, and what's the remaining C now? I am also a certified behavioral analyst. So I do DISC tests, but I do it. That one is not free; it's paid. DISC. But what it does is it reviews is a three-dimensional test. It reviews who you really are at your core. All right, with your strengths and your weaknesses, who you are pretending to be. That's why I love this. It will show you that you are pretending to be this person. All right, very important. And it will also show and it will also show you who you have made yourself to be. All right, I think that's the last one. Made yourself to be, maybe because of your work. Maybe you're an introvert and your work demands that you come out a bit, and you're you have decided to be like that. You're not fake. You have just grown to be like that. You have added one or two more things. So there are those three-dimensional stuff you're going to get from DISC, which is very powerful. The other one is MBTI, Myers-Briggs test. Myers-Briggs. Myers is spelled as M-Y-E-R. I'm putting in the comments right now. Briggs is M-Y-E-R-S. Briggs is B-R-I-G-G. Myers-Briggs test. MBTI for short. MBTI for short. And then the next one is Gallup's strengths test. Gallup's strengths test. Gallup's strengths test. That will also cost you some money. All right. If you're a person of faith, you should do I just lost it now. I've lost it. There's one that is really good that can help you discover your spiritual gifts and all of that. I've forgotten it off the top of my head now, all of a sudden. And then the next one, which is free, you can find it online. MBTI is free, but the accuracy of the one that is free is always questionable. So I would pay to do it right, so I can get it right. You should do the there's another one called the high five test. That's also free. And then there's another one called the temperaments test. All right. Everybody in this room, you must know your temperament. If you're a young person, you must know your temperament. All right. Let's move on. Somebody said, I only understood the temperament test. Please, sir, can you explain the other test? Or you mean, can I mention the other tests? All right. Or do you want me to explain what they do? So MBTI reveals your strengths, all right, based on your personality. And in fact, the beauty about MBTI is it reviews possible careers that you're meant to do, all right, possible careers based on your strengths, which I find very, very amazing. All right. So you can what's it called? You can go online and find some of this tests. But the ones that requires you to pay, like Gallup strength test, this test, they are not free. In fact, you hardly, if you see anywhere they say you should do it free, they're kidding with you. Okay, you might see some things that can help you answer whether you are this or that, but it's important that you actually pay if you have to. All right, very important. Okay, next question: how do you get your products and services? Oh, great question. To get my products and services, the best thing is to follow me on social media. Right now, we're running about 3 different things happening. Number one, we're running what I call pivot coaching. So pivot coaching are those who are looking to pivot into next year and they need a coach. You need someone to hold your hand. And that's $499 per month. And a minimum of 3 months is required, $499 per month, minimum of 3 months required. The goal is to hold your hand into discovering yourself, all right, into becoming who you're created to be, into getting into next year with a sense of confidence and also a sense of progress, all right? So what I do as a coach is help you discover your purpose and help you begin to journey on that walk of purpose or that walk of your calling, all right? Whatever it is that your calling is, I will hold your hand to begin to fulfill that calling so you can live life more confidently and more fulfilled, all right? So that's what pivot coaching is about. So if you follow me on social media, you see the link actually on my bio on Instagram. So if you to follow me on Instagram, let me actually put it here so that some of you do not from me already would be able to find it. Dr. Sam Ekundayo. Actually, on any platform, it's usually Dr. Sam Ekundayo. Mesoma, you might need to help me post that. It says it fails to post. So you might need to help me post my IG as well. IG, Facebook, Instagram, usually same thing, same thing. Okay. Yeah. What other? So we are having another one called Shut Up and Write. Shut Up and Write is for people who are struggling to write their book. You have a gift of writing, but you're struggling to sit down and write, and you rather write with other people. All right. So we in no, that's wrong. Go Dr. Sam. Oh, okay. Let me let me type it in the private for you. Dr. Sam Ekundayo, not Dr. Samuel Ekundayo. So that's usually yeah, Dr. Sam Ekundayo. Thank you. Yeah. So where were we? I was talking about shut up and write. Yeah. So if you want to leverage the momentum of a collegiate of other people writing alongside you, shut up and write is for you, and it's just for $99, and you will be there for 10 days writing. All right. It's a wonderful and amazing way. If you follow me on social media, you see the testimonials about shut up and write. Also, we have another one called Writers Bootcamp. Writers Bootcamp has recorded many successes since 2021. 20, I think we started 2020 or 2021, where we help people write their books in 30 days. We help people write their books in 30 days. We coach you, we hold your hand to writing your book. So if you're struggling to write a book, I'm a book writing coach. I can help you with that. All right. Most of everything you can find at samuelekundayo.com. Most of other things, any other thing that you want to know. Also, I've got a YouTube channel as well where I teach every Friday without fail, 7 p.m. So if you're wanting to invest more time into your growth, into your discovery, I recommend finding me on YouTube. Just type Samuel Ekundayo. You'll be amazed at the things that you'll be able to find. Thank you, Ms. Oma. You'll be amazed at some of the things you'll be able to find that would literally help you get into your phase of discovery. All right, and yeah, that's it. Any other question? Okay, as a medical student who loves music and fashion, but loves music more, I want to be financially independent. I really do not know where I should focus. I'm tempted to say just go and read my book, and that's what I will say. Please still read the book, but let me still answer this question for you. So you're a medical student who loves music and you love music more. My charge to you is to complete your medical studies. All right. Usually there are sometimes our career can be different from our calling. Some people get into careers that their parents forced them into, society pushed you into, because maybe everybody says, medical doctor, you need to be a medical doctor. You're so brilliant, you must be a medical doctor. You should be a medical doctor. And then you're into it already. I would say finish it, don't quit. All right. Complete your medical studies. That would help put food on the table and also finance the beginning of your calling. So when you're done, you can begin your music on the side. All right. We have people like that who are medical doctors, lawyers, and they're now into music. All right. And that's their calling. But the beauty of completing your studies is that you will never perhaps need to worry about what to eat. All right. And that's a massive, massive advantage. All right. So complete your studies, complete your medical studies. And once you're done, go and learn, write this down, go and learn how to build a personal brand on your calling. Young people that you're listening to me, learn how. I know you're hearing personal branding, personal branding, and it sounds like a cliche. It's not. It's actually very true. It's a massive strategy in helping you fulfill your calling in life. All right. And, learn how to build a personal brand, all right, on that music that you love and enjoy and possibly gifted at. Because there are some people who have wrong passions. Wrong passions are things you're not good at, but you think you're good at. All right. So please, I'm hoping that your love for music is not a wrong passion. There are some people who love music, but they can't sing. They love music, but they cannot do music. All right. It's just a passion. All right. And I understand that. All right. That's why you see some people on American Idol. They'll give them microphone. The moment they give them microphone, they start to sing. Everybody start to wonder what's going on. All right. Didn't anybody tell you can't sing? Also, but if you're really gifted and you're called to do that, and that's what your gifting is, and you sing well, you do music well, then build a personal brand on that later on. I heard that my time is up, so I'm going to stop here. I do hope this has been a blessing to you. It's been a joy coming here. Thank you, Ms. Soma, once again for bringing for convening this. I'm sure it's going to help. It is helping a lot of people. God bless you.
This is Fix Your Confidence Conference. Convener Mesoma Ilechukwu, Director, School of Confidence, popularly known as the Confidence Doctor. Welcome to Day 1 second session with our panelists from the 3 communities in School of Confidence. SLC's Alumni Forum, Kings and Queens Castle, Eagles and Falconsville. Topic: Overcoming Imposter Syndrome. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Lioness Ruth Moses, Lioness Favor Chinaza, Falcon Nkiru Ananike, Lioness Victoria Nnadi, and Queen Crown of Glory Eden.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second session of the first day of the Fix Your Confidence Conference. My name is Favor Chinaza, and I will be moderating this session. A very big welcome to you who are joining us. A very big welcome to you. You're welcome to the show. Good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening. It's good to be
Welcome.
here. Yeah.
Good evening. Okay. Good evening, Miss Nkiru. Good evening, Mrs. Nkiru. You're welcome. Can you hear me?
Good evening. Thank you
All
very
right.
much. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we have like 2 more questions. We need like 2 more questions to join us and kick off.
Welcome to Fix Your Confidence Conference 2023. Are you excited? I'm excited as well. Stay active, share the video, invite your friends, be expectant, grab your book and pen with a cup of water. Have you done that? Are you ready? Remember, the most active participants will get a 70% scholarship for our Executive Confidence course in School of Confidence worth 30K. And every participant also gets access to our FCC special offers, which are already on discounted prices for our courses in School of Confidence. Wow, this is a rare and a huge opportunity you shouldn't take for granted. Make sure to subscribe on our YouTube channel at School of Confidence 2.0. Will you be that person to win the scholarship? Well, we will know at the end of this conference. So make sure to participate and enjoy yourself. Welcome to Fix Your Confidence Conference 2023. Are you excited? I'm excited as well. Stay active, share the video, invite your friends, be expectant, grab your book and pen with a cup of water. Have you done that? Are you ready? Remember, the most active participants will get a 70% scholarship for our Executive Confidence course in School of Confidence worth 30K. And every participant also gets access to our FCC special offers, which are already on discounted prices for our courses in School of Confidence. Wow, this is a rare and a huge.
Okay, I'm here. It's good to be here.
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
All right.
Yes.
All right, everyone. All right, we'll have one more person to join us. Go on. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the second session of today, being the first day of Fix Your Confidence Conference. And we'll be having a panel session titled Overcoming Imposter Syndrome. This topic is particularly interesting. This topic particularly interests me because it's something I'm sure one of us, or each and every one of us, been through it, have experienced it one way. So I'm particularly interested in this topic because I know that I'm going to learn a lot. And also to our wonderful panelists, I am privileged to have you all here. And this is me saying thank you for gracing this occasion because it's an opportunity to learn from you, to, draw from your well of knowledge. I'm really grateful for that. And I'm hopeful that by the end of this panel session, everyone will change mindset and, of course, a better person. So thank you once more for being here. Now we'll go ahead with introduction. The panelists will introduce themselves and then we'll kick off. Panelists, over to you.
My name is Falcon Nikiru Ananke, and I'm a mom. I'm a mom, and I run yes, to play competition is now too much of but the competition um, modest fashion. Okay.
All right. You're welcome, ma, and we're glad to have you here.
Thank you. Good to be here too.
Okay, panelists. Miss Rose, you can go ahead, introduce yourself.
Okay. Okay. I'm so excited to be here today. I am a content writer. By God's grace, I've written mind blowing articles for my online audience. I am also a writing coach who have coached many persons, my online audience, on the skill writing. I'm also a physiotherapy student at Nnamdi Azikiwe University 400 level, by God's grace. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you, Lead Lioness, for giving me this opportunity to be in this show.
All right, you're welcome. Now, the next panelist, please introduce yourself. Miss Iyanu Oluwarai. Iyanu Oluwarai. Please introduce yourself to the audience. Can you hear me? Miss Iyanu Olua, can you hear me? Are you there?
I think her network.
Yeah, I think I know. All right, we'll have Miss Glory here. Miss Glory, please introduce yourself. Miss Glory, are you there?
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Queen Crown of Glory Patient. Delighted to be here tonight. Okay, thank you for the opportunity to be among the panelists. Thank you very much, ma'am.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We're happy to have you here. So, like I said
Yes, ma'am.
my name is Lioness.
Can you hear me?
I'll be the moderator for this. You can hear me, right?
Yes, we can.
Hello, ma'am. Favor.
Yes, we can.
I can hear you. All right. Now we'll go ahead with the questions, okay? And moving on, the This, what is imposter syndrome and how does it manifest in different individuals and situations? Miss Queen of Glory, she's not here. The question goes to Miss Queen of Glory. What is imposter syndrome and how does it manifest in different individuals and situations? We've been hearing this imposter syndrome, and it may be that some people have this challenge, but they do not know what they do not know what it is called. So we want to know what in different individuals and in situations. Miss Glory, Miss Glory, can you hear me? Oh no, I think network is bad. Okay, I think I'll have to throw this question to you. I'll have to make this question a general question, right? Since Miss Glory isn't here to answer it. So I'm making it a general question now, and everybody can answer this. What is imposter and how does it manifest in different individuals and situations? Anybody can answer this since Miss Glory is having trouble with her network. All right, let's go.
Okay. Imposter just like the word imposter, when you say imposter, that means you're posing as something else. So when you're having imposter syndrome, that means you're having this feeling of that's what it is. You do something, but at the end you feel like you can imposter that thing you're doing, and it can manifest in so many ways. When you're having self doubt, when you're having less confidence in yourself, and that makes you feel like you're an imposter. Okay?
All right, thank you very much for that beautiful answer. Thank you for defining this thing called imposter syndrome. Thank you for that. Now we'll move on to the next question. And the next question is to Bashir here. So the next, can you share personal experiences of imposter syndrome and how you managed to overcome it?
Um, go on, right? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Imposter syndrome. How I experienced that before? Like so many times, we've all had experiences of imposter syndrome. Like let me see, I'm, I'm supposed to do or I did a presentation the other day, and then I came back and I was like, I did well. Up right, perfect. I started to like that in um just that's the imposter calling, you know, everyone is one way or um so
Okay, I get network is terrible tonight. But the network has nothing on us. We're still going to have this panel session and it will be very, very amazing. I'm positive about that. All right, we were in the second question, right? Can you share personal experiences of imposter syndrome and how you managed to overcome it? Anybody can answer this. This is a general. It was initially meant for me to go. Perhaps anybody, and I would want to answer it. Well, let me go to the panelists first. Hear from you first. All right. So anybody can answer this. Experiences of imposter syndrome and how you were able to overcome it. Please share with us.
Okay, let me just take this question. Can you hear me,
All
please?
right. I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. One scenario was when I was made a leader in my fellowship as the sisters coordinator, and it's a very huge, a very high position that it requires a lot from you. And then I was actually giving my best, but to me, my best wasn't even enough. In fact, I don't even believe I'm doing anything. Even when my friends are like, "Oh, you are one of the best sisters called we've had in a long time," and I'm like, all you're saying is just lies. You're just trying to make me feel good. I know I'm not really so good as you're thinking. There are actually many persons that have come ahead of me, that have come before me, that actually did better than, or have done better than I am doing right now. And I'm like, ha. But then they kept saying it to my ears, and with time, I began to accept it. And the Holy Spirit just spoke to me. I'm like, Ruth, what are you actually doing? Yes, it's not by your power, but actually you are doing well, you are doing so well, so you should learn to accept those compliments. And who knows, it could actually have been God speaking through my friends to me, to make me understand
Yes.
that yes, he's actually with me in this situation, and I'm actually doing what he asked me to do. But then I didn't want to accept it because I felt it was pride. I didn't want to feel like, oh, these people are making me, I'm now proud.
All right. That was amazing. And I'm pretty sure that each and every one of us here can relate to that. Even I myself can relate to that scenario. Not taking compliments because you feel you're not good enough or because you feel that compliment. I think that's what people are saying. In your mind, you're like, oh, they are telling me this just so I could feel good. They are telling me this just so it would be nice. When you actually deserve everything and more that they're telling you. So this imposter syndrome can be really terrible. It can be really, really terrible. So I'm glad that we're having this panel session today so that we'll know how to deal with it properly. Now we'll move on to the third question. And the third question goes to Mrs. Nkiru. Can you hear me? Mrs. Nkiru, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. The third question says, what are some common triggers or factors that contribute to imposter syndrome? And how can individuals identify them? What can you see in yourself? And these things are pointing to the fact that you have imposter syndrome. And how can you overcome them as an individual? Is she here? All right.
Welcome to Fix Your Confidence Conference 2023. Are you excited? I'm excited as well. Stay active, share the video, invite your friends, be expectant, grab your book and pen with a cup of water. Have you done that? Are you ready? Remember, the most active participants will get a 70% scholarship for our executive confidence course in School of Confidence worth 30K. And every participant also gets access to our FCC special offers, which are already on discounted prices for our courses in School of Confidence. Wow, this is a rare and a huge opportunity you shouldn't take for granted. Make sure to subscribe on our YouTube channel at School of Confidence 20. Will you be that person to win the scholarship? Well, we will know at the end of this conference. So make sure to participate and enjoy yourself. Welcome to Fix Your Confidence Conference 2023. Are you excited? I'm excited as well. Stay active, share the video, invite your friends, be expectant, grab your book and pen with a cup of water.
Okay, well, okay, and we are here. Please welcome to the transmission. Network wants to disgrace us. Our God is bigger. All right. So the last question was this is in Kiru, and the question goes: what are some common triggers or factors that contribute to imposter syndrome, and how can individuals identify them?
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. So one of the ways we can identify imposter syndrome is when we're constantly experiencing low self-esteem, low self-confidence, and even um, low self-worth. Yes. And I'll just try to brush it off. And another way is when we start to negatively um, talk to ourselves when we talk to ourselves in a negative way. Okay, that's a form of the manifestation of imposter syndrome. And then beating yourself up when you make a mistake. We're all prone to making mistakes. We make mistakes all the time. But when you begin to beat yourself over and over again for this mistake, then you know that you're dealing with imposter syndrome. Okay. Then another one is attributing your success to luck or just external factor. You've done well, you've done so well for yourself. You can see it, everybody else can see it, but just you. Everybody else can recognize that, oh, you have done something well, but you think that, oh, it's just by luck or it just happened. You don't attribute it to the hard work that you've put in. Okay, and then downplaying your strength even when you know that it is so obvious that you are so good at this thing and you do it very well, but still you still go ahead to downplay strength in this your strength, and that is the way you imposter syndrome manifests. And then undervaluing your contribution. Probably in a teamwork, you happen to be working together in a team, and then there's a success story, but you go ahead to undermine the value or your contribution that you've put into the team work. So that is a way that you can identify that you're dealing with imposter syndrome.
Very, very much for that answer. So anytime you find yourself talking down on you or maybe talking negatively about yourself, it's important that you have imposter syndrome and you really need to get it treated. You really need to get it sorted out. Thank you very much. Beautiful answer. Next question. And what do you miss? Yeah, right, you have the and the next question says, how does imposter syndrome affect personal and professional growth and well-being? How does imposter syndrome affect personal and professional growth and well-being. Did you get the question?
Sorry, I didn't get that. Can you come again?
Okay, I said, how does imposter syndrome affect personal and professional growth and well-being?
Okay, thank you. So, imposter syndrome affects personal growth. Like, when you start to, it makes you feel less confident as a person, personally and professionally. It will make you to feel incompetent. That is, like, you don't feel like you're capable of doing a lot of things, and that will make you to shy away from a lot of opportunities that will come your way in order for you to grow as an individual. So, imposter syndrome is something that it will make you to like feel less worthy. Um, in School of Confidence, we are taught about okay, we're taught about being self like we're taught about self-worthy, like you being self-worthy. So as a someone that has a good like that is worthy, we know what is worth, like what is our worth is. But imposter syndrome will make you to feel like, oh, I don't deserve to be appreciated. Like, I don't deserve, despite the person's effort, despite everything the person is doing. So it will make you to feel like less appreciated. Meanwhile, you can appreciate other people, like you can celebrate other people. And this is one of the things we are taught in SOC, because like we're taught to appreciate ourselves constantly, to affirm ourselves. So all of these things is what imposter syndromes make you to shy away from as an individual. When you're suffering from imposter syndrome, you're going to feel less confident, you're going to feel less competent, like you're going to feel you don't deserve praises for the successes or the achievements you've made in life. That's all I've got to say
Sorry,
about that.
are we following? I really want to know if we're following this panel session. If you're following, indicate in the comment section. I want to know that we're not alone here and you're all following up on what we're doing. So we'll move on to the next question. Move on to the next question. Question number five. Question number five. And it goes to, okay, this is going to be a general question. Question number five is going to be a general question. It says, are there any strategies or techniques that have proven effective in combating imposter syndrome? Are there any strategies or techniques that have proven effective in combating imposter syndrome? This is a general question. I can answer this. It's not a specific question. You can answer this.
Okay, I'm going to answer the question. Yeah, there are different techniques in which you can overcome imposter syndrome, and one of it is by like looking for a mentor who can guide you to like after you realize that you have imposter syndrome, you can actually get a mentor like a confident doctor in SOC is someone that can help you, like that can guide you to help you overcome it. And also through affirmations, you can overcome imposter syndrome. Like when you begin to affirm yourself, the negative thoughts you often feel, maybe you feel, oh, this thing, okay, probably you feel I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy of this thing. Meanwhile, you're worthy. Like you're not going to turn the negative thoughts you often feel, you're going to turn it to a positive thought. By doing this constantly, you can actually overcome imposter syndrome. So I leave it to other panelists to see more about that.
Thank you so much for that. Hope we captured that. Okay, they said they're following. They're following. All right. Thank you so much for that answer. Okay. Moving on to the next question. And this goes to Lioness Ruth Moses. Can you hear me? Okay. The next question says, can you share tips on setting realistic expectations and embracing failure as a learning opportunity? Can you share tips on setting realistic expectations and embracing failure as a learning opportunity?
Okay. Thank you very much for that question, Lioness Favor. Yes, if you look at that question, you will see there are two parts to that question. First is on how to set
Yeah.
realistic expectations, and the second part is on how to embrace failure as a learning opportunity. Now, on the first part, which is setting realistic expectations, I have 6 tips I want to share with you all. First is to determine your expectations earlier on. There's a saying that proper preparation prevents poor performance. When you don't prepare for something, whatever comes to you, you just have to accept that way. And most times, when you fail, there's every tendency you might begin to develop imposter syndrome. So, to avoid the outcome of that, you need to first of all start by knowing what you want for yourself, knowing what you want for life, and then you cannot begin to prepare or make your expectations, build your expectations around that desire that you have for life. Now, secondly, is to practice positive self-talks. Positive self-talk works a lot. It works like magic. It was one of the things that SOC helped me to develop, to learn to speak good about myself. Most of us Nigerians, if not Africa, in fact, most persons, they tend to say bad things about themselves, which is very wrong. Which is very wrong. You didn't create yourself. So why would you be saying negative things about yourself? A scenario happened this afternoon. I and my roommates have been looking forward to something. We've prayed about this thing. Like, we actually know that God will do it. But then this afternoon, in fact, we were expecting it to come in like 2 weeks' time. And then it came today. And the person called her and was like, can you just come and check this thing? Guess what she said? Ha. And I was like, oh, thank God this person is calling. She was like, what if it's bad news? Jesus. I was taking off my feet and I was like, what's the meaning of this? You've prayed for this thing. And then the answer is actually here. And you want to spoil it by saying, what if it's bad news? And then we got there, so it's actually good news. So you have to learn to practice positive self-talks. It works a lot. Now, the third thing is to learn to let go. Learn to let go. We humans, we are humans, yes, and we have emotions, we have feelings, and when we experience failure, there's every tendency that we might want to be like, oh, it's over. But you have to learn to let go. And now when I say letting go, it doesn't mean you should forget about your emotions or forget about the evil thing that has happened to you, but it's about you accepting that emotion, feeling it while you're working towards overcoming that situation. Now, the fourth thing is to give yourself time and grace. Yes, we set deadlines. We set deadlines, and most times we might not actually meet up to the deadlines. Now, what do? You give yourself time and grace. That time, giving yourself time and grace helps you to meet up with your expectations and help you to avoid burnout. Most times when you set deadline, maybe say in like 1 week time, I want to achieve this, I want to achieve that, and it doesn't come in that 1 week, you should give yourself time. Like, oh, if I don't get it in 1 week, I will extend the time like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or even 1 month, and then you work towards achieving that thing. So you have to give yourself time and grace. That is the fourth thing. And the fifth thing is to appreciate what you have. Sometimes it's not about what you want to achieve, it's about what you have already achieved. So you have to sit down and look at the things you have achieved. Count them, count your blessings, and you will find out that you're actually doing well. You're actually doing well. So you have to always learn to appreciate yourself. And when you're appreciating yourself, it can be you getting yourself a gift, buying something for yourself. I do that a lot. I just, when I finish my exams, I know that it took me a lot to write this exam. When I finish, I'll ensure that I buy myself something, even if it's a shoe, a bag, just to appreciate myself and encourage myself to do better at the next semester. So that is one tip that can help you to set realistic goals. And the last thing here is to build confidence. Build confidence. Confidence is everything. Like, if you don't have confidence, people will trample on you, and you won't even be able to achieve your goals. For example, now you have a goal you want to achieve, and there's actually someone that will help you to achieve that goal, and you don't have the confidence to meet them, to even talk to them, and you want to achieve a goal. How do you do that? It's not possible. So confidence is very important, and that is why if you're listening to me right now and you have not gotten the School of Confidence course, either the basic confidence course or the executive course on self-confidence, you are doing yourself a whole lot of bad. Like, you're not doing yourself good. So you need to get this course if you know you're still battling with confidence. That's the tip on how to set realistic expectations. And the second part to that question, which is embracing failure as a learning opportunity, you need to first of all accept failure as part of growth. Failure is part of growth. There's no successful person that have not experienced failure. So you need to first accept failure as a part of growth. Secondly, you need to destigmatize failure. Destigmatize failure. Please write it in the comment box. Destigmatize failure. No, there's always this stigma that comes with failure. If you fail, it's not a good thing, yes, but people tend to like make you feel like it's over, but it's actually not over. You have to learn to destigmatize failure. Yes, accept it that you failed and wear it like a garment, but you know that that is not about you. It's not you. That failure does not define you. So you need to destigmatize failure. Don't let people begin to see you like you're less of yourself because you failed or because you didn't achieve what you wrote down for yourself. Now, the third thing here is to learn from mistakes. Learn from your mistake. You analyze your failure and understand what went wrong. Some people, it's not about you now, because I say destigmatize failure, that's, oh, I failed, yes, and then you not be like, oh, I'm very bold of my failure. Yes, it's good, that confidence is good, but you need to learn from the mistake. What did you do wrong? What led to you experiencing this failure? And then you work towards dealing with those things that actually affected you and led to you experiencing failure. Now, the next thing is to emphasize failure as a learning opportunity. Failure is not just an obstacle to overcome, but it's an opportunity to learn and grow. Failure is an opportunity to learn and grow. And this encourages a mindset that sees challenges as a learning opportunity. When you emphasize that failure is an opportunity, if you know, when you discover that failure is an opportunity to grow, it will encourage you to see challenges as a learning opportunity. And when you fail next time, you'll be able to work towards learning from your mistake. You will know that you will not go back to repeating this mistake that you have actually made before. Now, the last thing here is incorporate failure into your daily learning process. This means creating a system and routine that encourages reflection and learning from mistake. It can be an individual reflection, or you as a team, you have friends that maybe you are going through the same thing. You can just sit down, discuss about it, discuss your failures, discuss what it is that you've done wrong and what it is you want to do right at this point in time. So that encourages an environment to grow and see failure as a learning opportunity. I hope I've answered this question.
Yes, you have. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. So we should all accept failure as part of growth and do not feel like it's the end when you fail. No successful man ever made it to the top without failing at some point. It's all part of growth. You fail, you learn. You fail, you learn. That is how you get to the top. Nobody woke up and overnight success. They had their days of failing. They had their days where they made mistakes. But the difference is that they chose to learn from these mistakes. They chose to pick themselves up and get back on their feet again. So if you ever fail at some point, do not feel like it's the end. Okay, failure is part of growth. And also practice positive self-talk. Practice this actually applies to me because before now I found it difficult to practice this positive self-talk. That was before I came into School of Confidence. Like, I remember a particular day when I received a comment from someone because according to the person, I dressed well that day, and it was commenting me. Like, I nearly fought with that guy because of that comment. I kept disagreeing. I kept disagreeing. It was like, no, I'm serious. You look good. And in my mind, I was like, what's this one trying to say? What's this one trying to do? I refused to accept that compliment. And I didn't know that it was a problem till I came into School of Confidence and found out that, oh, I was battling with this imposter syndrome and a terrible low self-esteem. So please practice positive self-talk, okay? Talk to yourself positively. All right, thank you very much for that question, for that answer. Move on to the next question. The next question goes to you, Miss Ruth. And the next question says, in a professional context, how can someone learn to accept praise and recognition without downplaying their achievements due to imposter syndrome? In a professional context, can someone learn to accept praise and recognition without downplaying their achievements due to imposter?
Okay. Syndrome. Okay, thank you very much for that question. How do you accept compliment in a professional way? Yes, I have about seven ways you can accept compliment professionally here with me. The first is to say a simple thank you. Please write it in the comment section. A simple thank you. No, we Nigerians, we tend to want to add to it. It's not necessary. Some of us say, "Oh, you look beautiful today." We can just say thank you, and that's okay. You don't have to add any other thing to it. If you know you're going to spoil everything by adding any other thing, you can just stop at that. Oh, thank you very much. Now, secondly, you have to share credit where it's due. Share credit where it's due. Now, this is in a situation whereby you are not the only one who carried out a particular project and someone is complimenting you for it. You can just say, "Oh, thank you very much. I wouldn't have actually achieved that without the help, without the contribution of blessing to this project. Thank you very much. I appreciate that." And that's okay. That is sharing credit where it's due. The third thing way here you can accept compliment professionally is to use your body language to express gratitude. Use your body language. Some of us will say thank you, but we are frowning. Our face is so strong. And we're like, oh, people are like, I'm even complimenting this person. She's just frowning as if she wants to beat me. No, you have to smile when you're saying that thank you. Smile so they know you actually accepted that compliment. Smile and say, "Oh, thank you very much." And you can just give a handshake or a pat on the hand or shoulder. It shows that you have actually accepted that compliment. Now, another way you can accept compliment professionally is not to battle a compliment with another. Most times that's I said this in the first point by saying a simple thank you. Some of us we tend to battle compliment with other words. Like they say, "Oh, they will say, oh, thank you very much," but then my input wasn't even as good as you are even thinking. I didn't even do much. Some of us say, I didn't do much. When you knew quite all right that project took you a lot to accomplish, and then you begin to say, "Oh, thank you very much, oh, but I didn't even do much." Who asked you? Who asked you if you actually did much? Then all they can see is that you actually participated in this thing, and they can only see your success. So you just have to learn to not battle compliment with other words. Just stop at thank you. If you know you are going to spoil everything if you add more words. Another way is to add a detail to your thank you. This works for introverts that are trying to cover up their introvert nature. Yes, you can just say, "Oh, thank you." You can just begin to add the effort that it took you to achieve that, like to achieve that particular feat. You can just say, "Oh, thank you very much." For example, someone say, "Oh, your project was so precise and very nice and understandable." You can just say, "Oh, thank you very much. It took me a lot of nights to achieve this great feat. I'm glad you noticed." And that's okay. That's okay.
Mm,
Add a
yeah.
detail to your thank you. So another way you can do that is to don't make your compliment giver elaborate. Don't make your compliment giver elaborate. We make this mistake a lot, as humans. We want to ask them to be sure whether they are actually sure about that thing they're talking about. You just say, like, "Oh, you actually are looking beautiful today." And some of us will just give this bombastic side eye, like, "Really? Are you sure? I know your type." They have come again to whine me.
Of
Like,
that.
"You're just whining me." You're like, "You're just whining me." No, they are not. You don't have to make them to elaborate. When you say, "Well, you're whining me," You actually like that compliment, but you want them to elaborate. And in the when they begin to
Mm,
elaborate, you say, I have always known you are just a liar. Just get out of my sight. And some of us just watch the whole thing and make it. It's not meant to be. We're not meant to make our compliment giver elaborate. And lastly, don't downplay the compliment. Don't downplay the compliment at all. At no situation, at no time should you downplay any compliment. They actually know that you deserve it. No, humans, it's not easy for someone to see you that you're doing well and tell you, oh, well done, you are actually doing well, or you're actually looking beautiful. These days that compliment is so scarce. And then you're now trying to downplay the compliment. Please, so you accept it with your full chest. Please accept it with your full chest. Don't downplay the compliment. Don't feel like some of us, we accept the compliment. We're not going inside and be like, this one, he's just whining me. I know that it's not serious. All this thing not be like this. I know. Sometimes we are just humans, and you won't even know that
yeah,
this is imposter syndrome that is actually playing out. You won't even realize it. You may have even talked what you want to say. Now go inside, begin to think about it. And like, oh my God, actually,
yes.
this is imposter syndrome, and it's even low self-esteem. So please, these are the ways you can you can accept compliments professionally. Thank you very much for the
All right.
question.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So the summary of it all is say a simple thank you. A simple thank you. Somebody said, I deserve every compliment. I beg. Yes, so you deserve
Yes.
every you deserve every compliment. Say a simple thank you. Do not downplay the compliments. Do not make the person to elaborate and all that. Do not trivialize it. Say a simple thank you. And that is it. Thank you so much for that. All right, we'll move on to the next question. The next question goes to that should be okay. Okay. The next question is number 8 goes to Mrs. Nkiru. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. The next
Yes,
question
I'm here. I
says,
can hear you.
are there any recommended resources, books, or tools that individuals can utilize to work on overcoming imposter syndrome? Are there any resources or books or tools that you can recommend to everyone listening to us right now that they can use in overcoming this disease called imposter syndrome?
Yes, thank God. Okay, and the number one tool or the resource I want to recommend is written like boldly on my top, the Eagles and the Falcons view. This is like one of the branches of the School of Confidence. This is how I got into the School of Confidence. Okay, this Eagles and Falcons view. Okay, School of Confidence, the Eagles and Falcons view. And in this, I learned how to deal with imposter syndrome. I learned to even identify what imposter syndrome is and how to deal with it. So this is like the number one tool I'm recommending. And then the next tool I'm recommending is this book here. Okay, I got this for
Oh,
my
wow.
children. I got this and it's such an amazing read. Okay, we had fun reading this and enjoying and learning about things. And then even, in fact, the School of Confidence itself is like a recommendation from the basic course. There's the basic confidence course, the executive confidence course, the recovery clinic, the School of Confidence for kids and teens. Oh my God. I was at the side of my children attending that course and I was like, I got to know a lot from that course. I was like, if this course for children and teens is this loaded, I wonder what the executive one is, because that's the one me I'm targeting. The executive, that's the next one I'm targeting. The executive confidence test. Okay, so the next two again is journaling, and it's so awesome that even the School of Confidence has something for us on that. There's a journal that the School of Confidence has. Okay, that journaling, what it does, the tool is that it helps us to write down. Okay, it helps us to write down and to write down our achievements. Okay, not just achievement, but just at least basically to write down things, and then it helps us to remind ourselves of the things that we're capable of doing when we begin to experience imposter syndrome. Okay, and another tool is self-reflection, and we did this during the Eagles and Falcons days. That's during this program for us. It helps us self-reflect a lot. During that course, we were asked to think about ourselves, think about our stress, think about the things that we know we're capable of doing, even the meaning of our name. And that course really launched me in another another side of me that I didn't even know existed within me. Just I've always known the meaning of my name, yes, but at that course, it just gave me a new meaning. Like there's like a new meaning to my name. That my name is Nkiruka. Nkiruka. The future is bright. So just that awakening just makes me that I am made for more. My future is bright. Just go, 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 go. Keep going. So these are the tools and the recommendations that I've given. Like full of confidence is a whole tool and the resource you need to build your what to deal with your imposter syndrome. So yeah.
Thank you very much for that. Now, before I move on to the next question, I want us to do something, okay? I want us to do something. Are we following in the comment section? Please, if you're following in the comment section, I need you to put some fire emojis there. I need to see that you are following this. And remember that the most active participant gets a 70% scholarship. So if you want a scholarship into the School of Confidence, you have to be active. And I need to see active participants of this conference, of this panel session. Okay, so what I wanted to say is, it's actually a compliment. Okay, it's a compliment. And it goes to Mrs. Nkiru. I want to say publicly, I want to say that she's an intentional mom. She is an intentional mom. And I'm celebrating her for that. Got her kids the confidence kids manual, right? And also got the School of Confidence course. I mean, she is really intentional. Please, help us in the comment section. And if you're following, add the fire emoji, please. I need to see energy in here. All right. All right. Now we'll move on to the next question, right? The next question says, and
Thank
it's
you.
question number 9. You're welcome. Question number 9. It goes to you, intentional mama. Mrs. Nkiru, the next question goes to you. It says, can you discuss strategy for maintaining progress in imposter syndrome over the long term, even when faced with setbacks? Like when you're faced with setbacks, or you've made a mistake, or you failed, can you discuss strategies for maintaining progress even while we are faced with setbacks?
Okay. So the first strategy I'll give for the imposter syndrome or its reoccurrence is sharing your feelings. Learn to share your feelings with trusted people. When you begin to feel less of yourself, it is good to have someone that you can.
Small phone,
It is
uncle.
good. It is good to have someone that you can call and talk to. Do you understand about the feelings that you're having? And then it's good to. The next tool I'll talk about is celebrate your success. As soon as you achieve something, don't even wait. Don't wait about it. Immediately, you need to begin to celebrate yourself. Don't even wait for others to celebrate you. celebrate yourself, because if you begin to wait for others to celebrate you, some people might not even want to do that for you. They might not want to celebrate you, but you need to learn how to celebrate yourself. Okay, that's a tool for dealing or for maintaining progress. Okay, another one is to let go of perfectionism. I cannot say this enough. I cannot stress this enough. Nobody is perfect at all. It is only God that is perfect. Okay. So when we're doing things and we're doing it and we're trying to be perfect, it makes us just sort of get stuck in a place. Now I'm not saying that we should be mediocre, okay, when we're doing things, but we should learn not to think that everything has to be perfect. Everything cannot be perfect. When we fail, we should learn from our mistake. Just like Linus with Moses said, whenever we make a mistake, we can just learn from the mistakes that we've made. Okay. And then the next tool I want to talk about is to cultivate self-compassion. We should be able to be kind to ourselves, be kind to yourself. Okay. When you feel inadequate, you should learn to consider yourself, be warm towards yourself. Don't beat yourself too much. Don't beat up yourself too much. Okay, be compassionate to yourself, just as you would be compassionate to the next person that close to you. Always learn to show yourself compassion. Okay, and then the next one is to remind yourself of your purpose. Our first speaker during the first session talked about that your purpose and this purpose, and when you know your purpose, this just pushes you. It makes you to just get up from this imposter syndrome. When you know your purpose, it makes you to keep growing. It's a tool for you to keep going whenever you feel like you're down or you're feeling like an imposter. It just helps you to stay on course. Okay. So yes, those are the tools that I've, I'm recommending.
This is a bit shaky. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. And we're running out of time, so we'll have to briefly wrap up the whole thing. Now, on to the next question. To you, Miss Ruth Moses, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. So, quickly, what advice would you give to someone currently struggling with imposter syndrome? What advice would you give to
Okay, thank
someone
you very much.
struggling with imposter syndrome? Briefly, please.
Okay. Okay, the advice I will give to the person is to be kind to yourself, just like Lioness Nkiru said. You have to be kind to yourself. Be yourself, because no one else can be like you, and you are actually doing well. You need to compliment yourself. It's not easy. It's not easy, especially if you're even living in this part of the world. It's not easy at all. So you just have to compliment yourself and learn to accept the compliment that comes to you. And also, I want you to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, because no one will believe in yourself for you. You will do it for yourself. You just have to do it. So you have to believe in yourself, and keep good friends that will always be there to encourage you. Good friends that will be there to always say good things about you. Yes, not lying, but yes, that will be candid with you and always tell you the truth, and be there to encourage you and give you your flowers when you deserve them. That is one of the advice I will give to you. And lastly, I will advise you to register into SOC if you haven't registered yet, especially if you're currently battling with imposter syndrome. You have to register into School of Confidence, the basic confidence course and the executive confidence course, and the Queens and Falcons, every one of them like that. There are many of them. It's already in the group chat. Just register for the one you know you need at this point in time if you are battling with imposter syndrome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that. I think the last question that we're going to take now, the last question we're going to take now is we'll briefly share our story. I'll go first. I'll go first. Just like Lioness Moses said, if the last point she made, that is the point I want to emphasize on. If you know that you are struggling with imposter syndrome, if you know that you're constantly talking down on yourself, you don't even see your worthy. And when people give you compliment, you downplay it, you don't just toss it by the side. That is a sign that you have imposter syndrome. And you should run to the school of confidence. Run to the school of confidence as soon as you can. Because imposter syndrome can be very deadly. Yes, run. Run, because this is your life we're talking about here. Okay, this is your future. And if you keep nursing this imposter syndrome, if you don't tackle it, it's going to prevent you from living out your full potentials. And of what use would it be if you come on earth, or if you are here and you're not living out your potentials, you're merely existing? It wouldn't really make any sense. So if you notice that you have this imposter syndrome, if you're noticing these symptoms that we mentioned here, run to the school of confidence. I'm saying run. I don't say walk. I didn't say crawl. I said run to the school of confidence so that you can get the help that you need. He's asking what was the name of the book Mrs. Nkiru showed. Okay, it's Confidence Manual for Kids and Teens. It's also a book by the Confidence Doctor. You can get it for kids and teens. Confidence Manual for Kids. So if you notice that you have imposter syndrome, kindly run to the School of Confidence. Because prior to when I joined the School of Confidence, I had, like, imposter syndrome was my best friend. Let me put it that way. Let me put it that way. I always looked down on myself. I knew that I could do some things. You know, when a responsibility comes up and everybody's looking at you because they know that you can actually do it, but then you don't see it in yourself. I don't even see it in myself. I don't see that I can do this thing. I keep arguing with them that I can, and they're like, "You can." You get? I battled with that. I battled, and I thought it was just being me. It was just me being humble. I thought I didn't want to be proud. I didn't know that, oh, something terrible was dealing with me. So, but then I got into the School of Confidence, and I was privileged to sit under the teachings of the confidence doctor. And she made me understand that this was terrible. This was imposter syndrome. And I also had a terrible low self-esteem then. I couldn't accept any compliments. I didn't think I was good enough at all. So now that the story has changed, I'm sharing my testimony with you because I want you to get the same testimony. What's the point of being here if you don't shine your light? If you're not living out your potentials, what's the point of being here? So imposter syndrome will prevent you from being who you are really called to be. And now if you're noticing these symptoms, you have the best opportunity. Okay, you have the best opportunity at your right now. Okay, moving on. Miss Crown of Glory, there, I would love to ask you a question. Yeah. All right. So the last question, the last but not the least, should be to Miss Iyano. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can.
The last question is, how can one differentiate between genuine self-doubt and imposter syndrome? And what are the key signs to look out for?
Okay, the thing is, self-doubt and imposter syndrome are closely related, but the difference between them is that self-doubt is like it is connected to a particular circumstance. Like it's not often, it's not constant.
Okay.
Why imposter syndrome is a feeling of self-doubt constantly. like you continue to have this feeling like, oh, I'm not enough, I'm not worth it. Like in every situation you find yourself, like it affects almost all areas of your life. Like you don't want to do anything new, you don't want to go for new opportunities. But this self-doubt, someone that is just having like a genuine self-doubt can just probably the person is about to engage on a new task or maybe something he or she have never done before. Such a person can have this feeling of self-doubt that, oh, I don't think I can do this thing. Or maybe the person actually knows, maybe I have some weaknesses and this might affect what you ask me to do. So the person that is having self-doubt can actually identify with his or her weaknesses. Why someone with imposter syndrome does not want to identify with their away, like wants to avoid the weaknesses. So someone with a genuine self-doubt, like accept the weaknesses and look for ways to improve, look for ways to grow. When someone with an imposter syndrome, like we just shy away from it, probably we just withdraw from ourselves into the secret place or maybe into the like we just withdraw ourselves from people, from situations that can make him or her grow. So that's the difference between self-doubt and imposter syndrome. Like one is constant, while the other just occur like maybe based on occasions or situations whereby you find yourself. So I don't know if you can repeat the other question that is attached to it.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said, can you repeat the other question that is attached to it?
What are the key signs to look out for? And we have few minutes to go.
Okay, the signs to look out for, like for someone that has imposter syndrome, is that you have this constant self-doubt, and also you tend to stress yourself or to like to have this feeling of anxiety all the time, and also like you always want to overwork yourself just in order for you to prove your self-worth to people, and that ought not to be like that. Like you're much and people can see it all around, or because you're trying to so because they're trying to prove a point to people, like you want to show them what your self-worth is, so you're trying to overwork yourself all the time. So that is another sign of you having imposter syndrome. Another thing is defaulting accepting praise. Like when you do something well and maybe people around you notice it, maybe you dressed beautifully well, or maybe you did a task very well and people are appreciating you, when you begin to like deny yourself of that from people, that shows that you have imposter syndrome, and you need to take notes, like, and you need to work on it. So that is all I can say about the signs of imposter syndrome. Sorry, can you hear me?
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that. And that brings us to the end of this panel session. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you all so much for being here. And I'm sure and I'm certain that you're living here with lessons. You're living here with so many lessons. Now we've listed out all the symptoms. Yeah, we could call them symptoms or signs and symptoms of imposter syndrome. If you find any of this in you, then it is a sign that you have this imposter syndrome. It's also a call to action. This panel session is a call to action to you to take the necessary step. Like I said earlier, this disease will not let you live your life as you should. It wouldn't let you live as who you are meant to be or be who you are meant to be. It wouldn't. It would hinder you. So if you notice any of these signs in you, I take the necessary step to registering into the School of Confidence and let the confidence doctor address you and attend to you. All right, thank you all so much for joining us. Join us tomorrow, same time, same venue. We apologize. We apologize for being behind time a little. Okay, it was a wonderful time with you all, the panelists. It was a wonderful time with everyone listening to us, and thank you for staying till this very moment. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And see you again tomorrow, right? My name is Lioness Pivochinaza, and it was an honor moderating this session. Thank you all for being here. Bye.
Welcome to Fix Your Confidence Conference 2023. Are you excited? I'm excited as well. Stay active, share the video.